This segment is brought to you by the Havana Cigar Club. Come spend the afternoon with one of the best master blenders in the industry. Attend in person or participate live through stogiegeeks.com/blending. All participants, whether in person or online, will receive a Preferido blending kit that comes in a custom box made for Manuel blending seminars and contains 4 pure grade cigars, each component of the Preferido blend represented in a cigar called the Perito. You get one Preferido number 3 featuring all of the pure grades plus the wrapper. You get one Preferido Churchill, which is a barber pole 7x50 containing the same 4 pure grades but with a 6th segment. You get one La Aurora cutter and one La Aurora lighter, and you get the option to purchase a 10-count box of Coronas of the Preferido blend that come in 6 different wrappers, so you get to mix and match and get a 10-count box. All of that's available on stogiegeeks.com/blending. You can attend virtually, attend the virtual seminar, and be in the comfort of your own smoking environment and attend the blending seminar, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
We've got Todd LaScola on the show with us from the Havana Cigar Club. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you, Paul. Hey, Will.
Good to have you back on the show, Todd.
Thank you.
What were we talking about? We're smoking an interesting cigar. Let's start with that.
This is just...
Well, you guys are. I'm still finishing up my Opus X Reserva de Chateau.
I'm going to let Todd talk about it because he handed me this cigar, and this is just something special.
Yeah. Actually, this is Fernando Leon's personal cigar, who owned La Aurora prior to passing it on to his son Guillermo. And Luis Falto, Falto Cigars, which is also made out of the La Aurora factory. Luis had been in there one day and was looking. They were walking through the warehouse, and he asked him, he goes, "What's that?" They looked at it, they go, "Those are Fernando Leon's sticks. They've just been sitting there for 15 years."
Wow.
Because he passed away and the cigars were just sitting there. And so Luis had purchased them all, and he uses them as a vent type of things. They typically auction off a bundle for between $1,000 and $1,500 for 50 cigars. This cigar is almost 17 years old now. So maybe a little bit past its prime, but just unbelievable. If you can see how this is burning, I mean, even on the camera, you can see how white the ash is, and it draws perfectly. It's still unbelievable. And, I mean, the taste profile, but these were Fernando's personal cigars, never sold anywhere, never done as a limited release, never anywhere. You can't buy them. If you happen to run across Luis at an event and he's auctioning them off, you can buy a bundle. He only has a few bundles left, so that may not be happening much longer. But when he came up and did his event in August with us, we actually have a Falto lounge next door, and he was generous enough to bring 3 bundles and gave everybody one of each of the 3 different wrappers on the cigars to each of the people who were at that event.
Nice.
And it's really a unique thing to be able to have. I mean, this is a cigar you can't possibly purchase.
Yeah, I was like 6 cigars in, and I'm finishing off my Reserva de Chateau from 2010 Opus X cigar, which doesn't have the band on it anymore, but is very, very good, very smooth, nice leather flavor. I think 4 years is a good time to smoke Opus as well. It still's got a little bit of that punch to it, and we're pairing it with a little cocktail that I whipped up for everyone.
Yeah.
This is Edamore, I think they called it. 10-year-old Scotch whiskey. I included one part of Ron Zacapa rum, which I didn't even tell you guys about. I threw that in there. Right. I find that if you throw a splash of rum like that, a small part of rum, it tends to make the cocktail a little sweeter. Takes away from some of that bitterness from the whiskey. I put some orange bitters and some black walnut bitters in it, shook it up in the shaker, and made a nice little cocktail for us.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's got that walnut taste to it.
And I find, like I said, that walnut taste I find goes very well with pretty much any cigar.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool. What else you got new in the humidor, Todd?
Wow. We actually just got the 50th Padrons in anniversary, which is a great stick. In fact, we finally got those in on Monday, and we just reordered today because as soon as they came in,
they were gone. I noticed several local shops. They were in and out.
Yep.
And I bought the natural, I think, from you, and I picked up the Maduro from another shop just because of supply and demand.
Yeah.
Some people were out, so I like the natural better.
The natural's a little bit better, a little bit more of a bite. The Maduro, as is typical, at least in my opinion, with the 1926, it smooths it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Still a great stick, but not quite as good as the natural, in my opinion. But, I mean, both just phenomenal sticks.
I
mean,
still
it's a
think,
home run.
No, Stogie Santa doesn't necessarily agree, but I think that Maduro is going to get better with some age.
I agree. I mean, I'm going back to what happened with the 85th.
Yeah.
And the 85th, I was very disappointed when I first smoked it.
46th as well.
Yeah, but those cigars really came around. And this is
In fact, I'm sorry to interrupt. No. I smoked a 46 natural. I think I bought it next door. In fact, because I smoked one before and I forgot that I had smoked one. In that blend, after a year, or maybe a year and a half at this point, I kind of like the Maduro better. The natural is very, very good. Don't get me. I mean, if someone said you had to smoke the natural, I'd be okay. I'll smoke. You know, like, how do you say that with Padron, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of like the Maduro a little better in the 46. But it needed almost a year to kind of come into its own.
I can remember before we opened next door, and my partner and I, Leon, we were traveling. We were in Pennsylvania, sort of doing research to see if this is something that we thought was a viable model. And we were at Holtz and we bought the 85 Padron Maduro, and we smoked it and we went, we loved the 26. I was very disappointed. We go, how could we possibly like this less than the 26?
Yeah.
And we did. Now, if I grabbed one a couple of months ago, and it's much better after sitting for a little bit.
Now, Todd, you also have a selection of pipes next door, too.
Yeah, we do.
Talking to several retailers locally who were gracious enough to come into the studio. And you also carry Peterson pipes and Peterson pipe tobacco, correct?
Peterson pipe tobacco, Peterson pipes. We also have the Drew Estate pipes in.
Yes, and
really
that's one of the ones that I love my Drew Estate pipe. Not that I have anything to really compare it against, but I tell you what, it's just the whole, what is the Japanese?
Sugi.
Sugi.
But
pipes.
what's great about that is you can put that pipe right on the table.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What's really unique about the Drew Estate pipe is how user-friendly it is. You know, it has a base that screws on the bottom, so you can actually just sit it on a table instead of having to worry about the pipe tipping over and doing everything else. And that same base unscrews and screws into the top of the pipe.
Yep.
So if you've got a partially smoked bowl, you can cap it off and not have to worry about it getting everywhere. It's really a unique concept for a pipe, and it's so much easier. In fact, as I was walking over here from next door, we have some members who go on a hunting trip every year, which they're leaving for tomorrow. And one of the gentlemen who's from out of state who came in just picked up one of those Drew Estate pipes, because obviously it's going to be pretty cold up in Maine this week. So
yeah, so going outside to
smoking full cigars is a little bit tough when it's going to be 17 degrees out at night.
Yeah, when you can stand outside for 15 minutes
and smoke
a pipe, and then go back inside where it's warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's a good strategy. No supplement, really. I mean, it is a supplement in that scenario for a cigar, but I'd much rather sit comfortably for an hour somewhere and have a cigar, you know.
And obviously, since the last time on the show, we did, I don't know if it was on the last time we had on the show, but we have a Aloio in now.
Yes, we've talked extensively about Aloio. In fact, I picked some more up recently. I'm going back and kind of smoking some of those other Alohios that I felt needed some time to kind of rest. I picked up a Habano Churchill. I picked up another one of those LSV in the Robusto, those special ones. The limited edition.
The Limited. I'll go.
That one was awesome.
Well, I was about to say
one
that.
Of those.
Because we sort of smoked through, and actually last week when Leon and I were together, we hadn't smoked one in a while, so I grabbed one before we did our weekly get-together, and we were both smoking going, oh, that's right, I forget how great this cigar is. That is one of that's in my top 5 cigars.
That Robusto
LSV Limitada.
That's my favorite Aloio.
Yep.
I know you guys talked about the Salomon. I go for that one.
And I love the Habano in the Lancero too. That's a great stick.
The Habano Lancero is a great stick. I mean, there's a lot of great sticks in Aloio, but that LSV Robusto limited edition is just unbelievable. And that's one of those cigars that crosses multiple ranges of palates.
Yes. Because it's not overpowering, but it's got good flavor.
Good flavor. So people who like fuller-bodied sticks enjoy it because of the flavor. Those of us like myself who like more medium plus, it's still right in our wheelhouse because it's not overpowering.
Now, people can call your store to order those, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what's the phone number for the store?
401-287-4250.
And you're pretty well stocked because you got another order of
we just got them in this week.
Yeah, so they're pretty well stocked in Aloio, and I encourage all our listeners to do that because it's a great line. The whole line.
Yeah. The whole line's great, and it's not easy to get. They have it only in limited limited shops in every region. We happen to be the only one in Rhode Island that's allowed to carry a low
You
ale.
also have a cigar that Mark Jr. was praising before. In fact, he said it could be his #1 cigar to come out this year, and that's the My Father Connecticut. Are you carrying that?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And it's exclusive to New England. So if you live somewhere else, you've got to order it from a shop in New England. It's actually really is a very good stick. Not typical Connecticut, but not so much overpowering with the pepper. It's got just enough spice to liven it up. But it's a great solid smoke, and it's not your typical Connecticut. It's a little bit stronger than your typical Connecticut, but it's definitely still in that smooth medium strength area, and it's a very good stick.
Awesome. So you're very excited about the blending seminar coming up.
Without a question.
You've got a good rapport with Manuel.
We have a very good rapport. In fact, I got an email today because I had emailed him yesterday saying, you're under a month until you're coming to visit us. And he emailed me back today, I can't wait. He goes, but how do I dress? I go, there's nothing you can wear coming out of Dominican Republic that's going to prepare you for the first week of December in New England. Dress as warm as you can.
I mean, it's warm here in the Havana. It's going to be next door in the Havana.
It's going to be in a club, but he's still going to get to the hotel and around.
Yeah.
Manuel is just a phenomenal guy. Absolutely phenomenal. Very charismatic guy, extremely knowledgeable, very social guy, extremely talented also. And we were fortunate enough, it took a while to set up, but Manuel doesn't get to come to the States and do events. If you go to the La Aurora factory and you're lucky enough to catch a day where he's doing it, he will do the same master blending event.
I know. Have you done this one before?
I've done it twice.
The Preferido, the same one?
No, different ones.
Different ones, okay.
But with Manuel. I did it the first trip I made to La Aurora a couple of years ago. About a year and a half ago now. With some retailers down at the La Aurora factory, we did the first one there. They were sort of trying to tweak this seminar to see how they could do it. They wanted to try to get the time down. You just can't. It's 3.5, 4 hours, depending upon participation. But it was unbelievable from a standpoint of knowledge. I mean, you're smoking the Peritos, the components of each part of the Preferido. The 3 fillers are all the same in the Preferido line. So you get the 3 components that make up the filler
and the binder.
And then the binder. So those are the 4 that you get. And then in this kit, you'll get a number 3 Preferido, so it'll allow you to see how they all meld together with a particular wrapper.
3 fillers, a binder, and then they'll put a wrapper on it. Do you know which wrapper?
They actually haven't told us yet. They haven't finished them yet.
Because there's 6 different wrappers in the Preferido, so you get one of them. We don't know which one.
We don't know which one of that. But then when you go to the barber pole, which is the Churchill, you get all 6, so you can actually see the transition all the way through.
It'll have 6 different...
It's like segments.
Segments.
So it's not a barber pole. It's almost...
Well, it's shaped like a barber pole, but it's with 6 different wrappers.
Going all the way.
So you can see how the transition works from each of the 6 wrappers in the Preferido.
That's a really cool cigar.
Including the Black Diamond. And
So do we know the 6 different wrappers? Crap. This is like
pop
quiz time.
You got the Black Diamond, which is the broadleaf. Connecticut Maduro, which is phenomenal. You've got the regular Maduro. You have the Corona. You have
Corojo.
Corojo.
Yep.
You've got the Connecticut.
Yep.
The Cameroon.
Yep.
And you have the Ecuadorian Sumatra.
Oh, Ecuadorian Sumatra's the other one. Okay.
Yep. So those are the 6.
I would have forgotten about that one.
Yep. Those are the 6. And then, of course, on top of the blending event, the Corona size they don't make in the Preferido.
It's not a regular production.
It's not a regular production cigar. So it's an opportunity to get the cigars in the Corona size. And you can pick and choose, even if you prepay for the box and the seminar together, you can pick and choose what combination you want those 10 cigars that go in that box to be. So you can make it 10 of one, you can make it 1 of this, 3 of that, 5 of those, and you're going to be able to make that decision after the blending seminar and after you get to try through the seminar and the barber pole. So you'll be able to pick and choose afterwards. It comes in a box that's made just for the blending event. Same thing that comes with a nice box that comes with the kit for the blending event, with the lighter and the cutter and the cigars we've already mentioned. So it's a really unique opportunity. And, of course, it was great that Stogie Geeks was able to work out the way to stream this.
Yeah,
so you're going to be able
absolutely.
to do that wherever you are in the country. All you have to do is pre-book through Stogie Geeks, and we will ship you that blending kit during the week prior so that you'll have it for the event and you can participate remotely.
Don't smoke it before the event.
No, do not smoke it before the event. Smoke
Wait
it
till
at
the
the event
event.
so you can participate with everybody else, whether you're here or not, participate in. And if you've pre-purchased a box, you'll have a form that you can fill out. Or if you decide to do the blending event and then you decide you want the box, you'll be able to do that also.
Afterwards, yep.
Afterwards, the box will be $99 at that point instead of the 128 combination for the tube, because the blending event's $49. So if you pre-book it and you don't have to decide on your cigars yet, you get to pay $128 for the combination of both the 10 box of cigars plus the blending seminar. And it's just a really unique thing to be able to do it from wherever you are and still be able to see Manuel, still be able to participate through chat. I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be a great time. Not only is Manuel one of my favorite people, and I get to see him a little early this year because we're doing our members trip to the La Aurora factory next March.
Okay.
So I'll get to spend almost a week with Manuel next week because
Nice.
we have two member trips, and first half of the week, second half of the week, because we just had too many members who wanted to participate. So I get to stay for the whole week. It's
You'll
rough.
go out there in the first week and then
come back on
yeah.
the second
second
trip.
Someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. It's going to be
poor
rough.
you.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah,
I got a week in DR.
Maybe you could find a few more of these Fernando Leon person. Because
Yeah,
let me-
you're really liking that.
Yeah.
stick, man.
Oh, wow. Wow is all I got to say.
Yeah, it is unique, and
Yeah,
our other friend Luis, who is actually very close to Manuel, because the other time I got to do the blending seminar was actually at Luis Falto's 19th anniversary party in Puerto Rico this past spring.
And he had some fabulous wines, you were saying.
And Manuel was out because Manuel is his mentor. In fact, the Falto mentor was named after Manuel. And when you're looking at, so we were there and he did another blending event there, but Luis has this phenomenal wine cellar, and we were fortunate enough to spend several afternoons with Luis and Manuel and a few other friends in his wine cellar, just drinking wines that you just normally wouldn't be drinking anywhere, and certainly not together. It was a very enjoyable couple of days.
Nice.
Lots of wine, lots of cigars, some rum mixed in.
Are you ready to talk about Cumberland yet?
Okay, yeah. We actually finally closed as Paul, who's a friend, has known. It took us almost 15 months to finally close on this property in Cumberland, Rhode Island, northern part of the state. But we did about a month ago. So now we're in the process of planning. We're going to be building a 4,000 square foot cigar lounge. We'll obviously have the retail shop. We'll have a big.
So it's going to be even bigger than next door.
It's going to be even bigger. We
Wow.
have 3,000 square feet next door, 1,500 for the public, 1,000 for the members' room. We're going to have a combined 4,000. So it's going to be right on North Mendon Road, just north of 295. Those of you who are Rhode Islanders, Cumberland House Pizza, that's been there for two eternities, is the plaza next door. So we'll be able to build a brand new building, put 4,000 square feet in there. Be a big.
It's going to be a 2-story or
1 story.
1 story. Okay.
1 story. There's an existing.
And it's just for.
We're going to build about 5,000 square feet. There'll be a small retail area to lease out next door, about 4,000 for the club. There's 20,000 square feet across the parking lot on the other side of that property. That's existing tenants that will stay. We'll be on the other side in its own building.
So you'll own the building of 20,000 square feet and build a new one as well.
Yep. So
That's
that
really cool.
exists. That exists now. So really excited about that. First floor, main road.
Southern Mass.
Southern
Those
Mass.
of you in Southern Mass definitely.
Southern
want to pay
Mass,
attention
without
to
a
that.
question. If you want a place where you don't have to pay 40% tax on the
Yeah,
sticks.
because Massachusetts has some very strict laws, as Glenn Lupe was saying earlier.
Yeah, well,
and no liquor.
Yeah,
And
you
cigars.
can't have liquor in Mass.
Yeah, one of the things about the club, just like next door, is you can smoke and have a cocktail.
And probably order food from
Cumberland
House of Pizza, I would assume.
Yeah, Cumberland House of Pizza
yeah.
and Jay Gray's, my brother's restaurant, which is
Okay.
down the other end of Mendon Road.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have a couple of
So
places to order food from. And, Same ventilation system we have next door, where the air circulates every 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's great ventilation there.
Yeah,
you had a cigar there last night.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it
2 last night there, yeah.
And it, air circulates every 4.5 minutes. You can go in, smoke, leave, and nobody knows you've been smoking.
Yeah.
The air circulates that well. It's all a fresh air exchange. It's not filtered air. It's not going through smoke eaters. It's just pumping out, going through an energy recovery vehicle, so we can capture some of that heat and cool, so we don't get, from a business standpoint, you don't get destroyed on heating and cooling. And then takes fresh air in, exchanges that heat or that cool, so we only have to heat or cool a small amount, and it's fresh air back in. It's really an amazing ventilation system.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, if folks are in Warwick, drop by here. I mean, it's a really beautiful place. They're open, they're open. You guys are open late.
Yep, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Yep.
And it's 2 years this December.
It'll be 2 years this December in Warwick.
And your humidor has grown significantly.
Yeah, nice selection, wonderful selection in there.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
It's grown a lot in the past 2 years. You have the largest humidor in
largest walk-in in Rhode Island,
wise,
square footage wise, and probably facing wise too.
And
at
you
this
filled
point.
it up since in the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's gone from about 300 facings to about 850 facings right now.
Wow.
Which is rather big for around here, and plenty of reserve stock. It's a pretty well-packed humidor.
You've added pipes to that. I'm a big fan of the Lotus lighters as well.
It's still one of my favorites. Everything
we have two of the almost. I mean, this one's not really a tabletop. I don't know if I can hold that up for the. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a tabletop, but it holds a ton of fluid, and this is one of the ones we use on the show. And then the other one we have that is a tabletop is I don't know what you call this one. The Black Label, is that what the?
It's Black Label. It's the tabletop Black Label lighter.
Yeah, this one's really cool too. Yeah. It has scissors attached to it as well as a quad flame, and it has a punch on it as well.
Yeah.
So.
And I carry the one lighter I carry is a 2-flame Lotus. This is actually my favorite of the lighters. It comes in stainless, but it comes in black lacquer, blue lacquer. What I love so much about this is the 2 flames point together.
Yeah.
So it softens that flame up top, so it's less like a torch, but you still get the 2 flames to help with wind resistance, everything else. But it's a softer flame at the top because they actually point towards each other and soften that flame. So you don't have some of that problem of charring the outside of your wrapper when you go to use a typical
I've been happy
torch.
with the quality of Lotus as well, because I mean, we chew through lighters here in the studio for sure. And I've been really happy with the quality. The other thing, too, is you got those Perdomo cases. It's a funny story how you ended up with those Perdomo cases.
Yes. Yes, it is. Paul was there that day.
When the rep was actually pitching to you, you should have these cases. And I was like, I want one. I placed my order right there.
He placed his order before we actually had him in the store.
Yeah.
Of course, he went with bright yellow.
I did. I have it right here, actually. My bright yellow one. This is the one I carry on a pretty regular basis as well. It's very yellow. It's very obnoxious color, but I tell you what, it's an awesome case. And the one thing that turned me on was it's a really high quality case, but it has that bead humidity system in it, which absorbs excess humidity or emits. It's a two-way system.
Yeah. That two-way system makes all the difference in the world. Without
especially
a question.
If you're taking a trip to Nicaragua. Is that where you're going?
Well, we're going to DR next year.
Okay.
Yep.
When you're traveling, that's the way to go.
There's no question, because it doesn't matter where you go. At least it's going to adjust for you.
Yep.
And without a question, we carry a full line of Zycar. We carry a full line of Lotus. And we carry.
How are you doing in those cases? Are you keeping them in stock? Or
yeah, we found. Well, that was the big problem.
You blew them out.
We blew them out, and Perdomo was having a little bit of a problem with restocking. But fortunately, we have some in now. There's even a roller one now.
I saw that in there.
You saw that in there? Yeah. And that's and the ironic thing is it sort of covers it actually is certified for travel in airline travel as a gun case.
Yeah. So it's certified for firearms.
Firearms, which is pretty funny. So we've with
you
the
got a lot of members
case,
that are firearms enthusiasts
they,
well.
They are, and that way you can roll your guns with you as you go around, which is pretty entertaining for being in the Northeast.
Or you could fill it with cigars. It holds like 100-something cigars.
No,
you need one of those, Will.
I absolutely do need one of those.
Well, you absolutely need one of those, because then you can just pull everything with you. It's good. In fact, we have one that we use to go to outside events with. Mm-hmm. Because we can put boxes of cigars, single cigars. There's just a lot of space in those, in the rolling ones. We also carry Savoy humidors, which is one of the top of the when I say reasonably priced,
They're great.
$250 to $600.
They're great humidors.
They
these
really
Savoys.
are.
They really
Those
are.
like desktop style humidors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really nice finishes on them, and they just look. They're nice presentation. They seal wonderful.
They seal wonderfully. They use the Boveda packs, so it's easy to maintain. Pack starts getting a little bit firm. Throw it out, grab a new one, pop it in.
Nice.
Great desktop humidor.
I outgrew
obviously from
desktop
Ashton.
humidors a long time ago.
I have too many desktop humidors.
Yeah,
I
I consolidated.
Well, and I sort of do also because I started smoking when we used to keep them in my office, in my consulting office, because you could smoke in your office back then.
You could, yep.
Versus now pretty much having to smoke in the club in the Northeast. There's not many places outside of your backyard and a few.
Yeah.
And actually Rhode Island's pretty good as far as smoking outside in good weather, obviously, on the outskirts of restaurants and things
They
of that
are
nature.
pretty good about
Yeah,
that.
they are.
Yeah.
Compared to other states. So we're fortunate that way. But it's definitely a, the desktop humidor has lost some of its appeal just because you can't use it as much. Unless you keep, I still keep one in my office because if I'm getting ready to take off somewhere, I can grab some sticks and go in case I need to have them everywhere because I have a tendency to forget things.
Yep,
So I have them everywhere. I have the big one at home. I've got my locker at the club next door, at the shop next door, and then I've got the one on my desk so I know I always can put my hands on a cigar for when I want to go.
And now you'll have lockers in Cumberland as well?
Absolutely.
And now your membership will transfer between shops?
Yep. People who are members in one location will have reciprocal membership. They'll only have a locker in one location.
Okay.
But they'll be able to get their discounts, their member discounts. They'll be able to get their members access. Everything will apply to both places.
So if I'm in that area or coming back or whatever,
Absolutely.
you can stop there and have a smoke.
Yeah,
I won't have
that's
a
great.
locker there, but
Yeah, exactly. You can stop there and smoke. And in Rhode Island terms, it's the other side of the state,
it is, yeah.
which makes it 35 minutes, which is what it takes you to get across Charlotte.
I was
on a
gonna
good
say that,
day,
yeah.
on a good day. But in Rhode Island terms, that's a hike.
Yeah, that's like I'll stop there when I'm coming back from Boston kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's great. I mean, again, if you're access to Massachusetts, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's like I said, the laws in Massachusetts are really, really tough in terms of smoking. Forget about being able to smoke, eat, and drink in the same place in Massachusetts.
It's impossible.
So if you're in southern Mass, Cumberland is not that far at all.
No, in fact, we're one exit over. If you're on 295,
North Attleboro is like right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're on 295, you cross over the Rhode Island line. It's the second exit up, and we're about half a mile north on 122, which is
great.
Mendon Road. So we're looking forward to that, but we should be open by the end of next summer.
Well, that's good.
Because you can't build in the winter up here. So we'll get all the approvals in the winter and start building in the spring.
Exactly.
Right. Cool. What else is going on in Havana Club world?
Well, obviously we've got the blending event. Obviously, is the big thing coming up. But we're coming into our prime time because the weather's changed up here. It's now cold.
So you're going to do
miserable.
more events, right?
So we'll do more events, and those will constantly be put out on our Facebook, our email list, which you can sign up from the website for. They get posted on the website. We'll have a lot more events.
Do you know who you have coming up for events?
Actually, we have.
You had Oliva.
We just had an Oliva dinner last week.
You had that last week.
With
That
that
was last
5-pack.
Thursday.
With that 5-pack.
Everybody's favorite New England rep actually stopped in today when I was in another meeting. I stepped out and talked to her for a few minutes.
I was going to say that has to be Lauren.
It has to be Lauren.
Yeah.
It's Lauren.
And
If it had been 4:45, she would have stayed and come on for this segment, but it was 4:45.
we would have preempted Logan.
And so Lauren, we're going to be doing on one of the playoff games in January. We're going to do a smoking.
CLE event.
We're going to do a CLE and Asylum and OSAC event on one of the playoff games.
Nice.
We just have to coordinate schedules because the reps, travel a lot in January. They go down to their respective countries to see the fields and the factories, and they do another week of sort of sales meetings.
planning,
Yeah, the cigar industry really from like that Christmas week till like the second week in January shuts down because they're all doing vacation and then it's those meetings and trips. Yep.
It's
smart.
prime
It's a good
time
time to
for
do that,
us.
Yeah.
Like I said, in next door with having 1,500 square feet of public lounge and another 1,000 square feet of member lounge plus the retail space next door. From now through the spring is our heyday.
Yeah,
and that's where, because up
yeah,
here there's nowhere.
If people are off and you can't go in your yard and smoke because it's too cold. So
and the garage with the space heater is not a good option.
No, if you have a membership next door, that's definitely the place.
Sure, and even non-members, our retail side stays very active this time of year. And
I'm sure you sell gift cards for Christmas.
Gift cards for Christmas. Again, and it's football season, so obviously Sundays are a big day with everybody coming down, get to watch the games, have a smoke, have something to eat, have a drink. You can do all of that, stay in a nice, big, comfy club chair.
Yep.
And not have to, deal with anything. We've got the pager system, my favorite thing, next door.
That was great last night, yeah.
When you want, Will, we were sitting there chatting, Will, myself, and Mark, and if you want something, you hit the pager. The staff comes over and sees what you want. If not, you can keep in your conversation. You don't get interrupted with a person coming over and going, you need something else, you need something else. So you get attention when you want it. They leave you alone when you don't.
And I have to say, Todd, your staff has definitely stabilized in the past couple of years as you're just getting your business started, and they're just fantastic.
Yeah, they really are. I mean,
we ask a lot of them sometimes too, and they're always happy to help us out. We bring them like big tubs of glasses sometimes.
Paul definitely oversteps his normal member boundaries.
They put stuff in his locker. I mean,
we receive his UPS. We receive your UPS shipments.
That's right. We reciprocate as well.
Yes, you do. No, it's a great relationship. We love having you guys next door.
We're so glad we're next door.
Yeah, I mean, you've been really generous, supportive of the show. We can't thank you enough on
bringing guests on is just awesome.
Yeah, we've been real appreciative of that.
We were just talking about Glenn Case and how nice of a guy he was.
Glenn's great. He was in for the event. In fact, his new rep in New England happens to be.
He's a member.
He's a member at the club. I maybe shouldn't say that. It may hurt him, but he's been a frequenter of the club.
Jared, right?
Jared. He's been a frequenter of the club for a long time.
Yep.
So when Glenn came into town, obviously we did an event that Thursday night, which was a great event. And Glenn's such a great guy. Makes for a late night when Glenn's around. Because
I heard they went for hot wieners or something.
Well, I was going by then. 11:30, I was out of there. Then they went. He had never had wieners, so John, our manager, and Jared went to Onlyville and went to
New York System in Onlyville. It's like a classic place in Rhode Island.
Wow, I got to talk about that.
Hot dogs we call them hot wieners.
They're not really hot dogs. They're
it's like a heart attack in a bun.
Yeah, it is. It's basically a mystery, like tube type hot dog. Chili on top of it, onions, celery, mustard, sauce. Oh no,
they're really good. You'll be hurt the next day.
Yeah,
it'll almost be like the clams you had when you told
let's not go back there again.
Yeah. Not as bad as the clams,
but definitely one of those things.
Yeah,
so.
You'll be tasting them all the next day. That's the beauty of hot wieners in Rhode Island. Is they never really leave you for the next day. Like you get to relive that experience.
You know when you wake up in the morning that you had wieners the night before. Yes, it's definitely a late night type of.
Late night after drinking, it is.
Because there's about 3,000 calories in a couple of wieners, so it absorbs almost any amount of alcohol you have consumed.
There's a great place that has breakfast, and sometimes I'll have a couple of hot wieners like with breakfast.
Nice.
I need to get it out of my system, and that's when earlier in the day is better. After a whole night of drinking and then hot wieners, you're hurting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does not help your system.
Yep.
Tastes good though.
Yeah, they do. They taste awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
Without a question.
Oh boy, the fun things that we have here in Rhode Island.
I enjoyed it here.
Yeah, glad to have you up.
Yeah.
I was so glad we were able to have like 3 local shops represent today.
Yeah,
it really speaks to.
Paul came in today.
Paul and Jana from the Humidor.
Humidor came in great
today as well.
I mean, so you could make a cigar weekend up here. Really I'm not kidding you.
Really
I mean, I'm telling you.
There's more cigar shops per capita in Rhode Island than anywhere else in the country.
Drop your wife and kids off at the beach and just come smoke.
Well, that's the great thing about Rhode Island.
Yeah.
You can go to Providence. Go to
PPAC. A new place in Providence.
Hanley's
is really
great.
Cool. Yeah.
There's plenty of places to smoke in Providence, but you can go and see a show in Providence, get down to the beach in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You have some of the best food in the country in Providence.
Especially on Federal Hill. I don't know if you make it to Federal Hill last time you were up,
yeah. I mean,
those of us who are ethnically biased because we're Italian.
That's right.
Federal Hill is
Even though my
traditional.
last name's not Italian, I'm 3/4 Italian.
There you go.
I'm half. So.
Yeah. So it's diversified a little bit over the time frame. When I was growing up, it was purely Italian. But, I mean, you can go to Federal Hill and hit 6 different types of restaurants, all of them exceptional. And you can do that throughout the city in Providence and actually throughout the state. Spain and Cranston, there's just so many great restaurants here.
Oh, and speaking of cocktails, the Eddie in Providence. In fact, I was telling Mallory, who works next door, and she was very impressed. It's a very cool little eccentric bar, and they make just some super, super cool cocktails. They have one with, like, egg whites in it.
Where is it?
And it's actually good. It's right in downtown, like, near Dorrance Street.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of downtown. Fantastic little bar. They
Excellent.
make the best pretzels in the world. You can't smoke in there, unfortunately, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I almost go
that's
nowhere anymore where I can't have a cigar.
Yeah, Hanley's is the place to go.
Yeah,
downtown.
you go out to dinner. If you're in Providence, you stop down at Hanley's is great. Tammany, which is a little bit
classic,
more classic tavern.
Classic Italian tavern.
Yeah, I mean it's Tammany Hall is the name of it. So it's technically an Irish bar, but it's Rhode Island, so it's still populated
with mostly Italian.
With mostly Italians.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great true Irish pub that you can smoke cigars in. There's still a few other shops around. It's really a good, it's a great city to be able to go in. You can do, like I said, you got Providence Performing Arts Center. You've got the convention center there. You've got just tons of great restaurants, Capriccio's, the Capitol Grill, a ton of small little places.
I was telling our guest last week that came on for the coffee, Jay.
Yeah.
They were wondering where to go in Providence, so we gave them a list of recommendations. Capriccio's is on the top of my list.
Yeah. Vincenzo's still around. He's been there for a long time, and that's you want a great Italian Northeast feel.
An experience.
Experience.
Right? Capriccio's is an
experience.
Because they're like, hey, Angelo, come over here. We need a steak Diane. Like that's the
and it's downstairs. You actually go into the basement with very classic in decor, very very classy. But you've got all the brick around you because it's the basement of the old building, and it's got a bar in the back, and the food's exceptional, and the environment is definitely an experience.
So you can come here to Rhode Island anytime we're broadcasting and watch the show live. Havana Club is right next door. So you can come down beforehand, have a cigar, walk through the humidor next door, come in here in the studio, watch a show. StoicGeeks.com/attend gives you all the information about where we're at. So by all means, come.
And you get a $5 off coupon next door.
And you have a $5 off coupon on our website.
Yep.
So no reason why you shouldn't stop down, say hi to Todd and all the
very
fabulous
friendly,
people next
great
door.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very eclectic place as far as the patronage, all walks of life. It's a very casual place, and the great thing about cigars is it's the equivalent of golf. Everybody's the same because you have something in common, and especially in today's day and age, since we're under so much attack, there's a natural bond with cigars that you almost can't get in anything else anymore because you're fending off everybody else.
Cool.
And we talked about being a conduit to a lot of other good things in life, so it's a great thing.
It is.
Yep, we talked about that today.
Well, Todd, thank you very much for coming
Todd.
down.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
I will talk to you soon. I appreciate it very much.
StoigieGeeks.com/blending. Get in on the seminar right now. You're not going to want to miss this.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to take a short break and come
Appreciate
back.
it. Thank you.
Rafael Nodal is next.
Rafael Nodal is next, and it's our final interview for today. We've been on since 10 a.m. Support your CRA, cigarrights.org.
We made history today. This is the longest, I believe, cigar broadcast ever.
And Raphael's been next door to do an event, too.
That's right.
He's fabulous at an event.
He's a great guy.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Thanks.